back to my channel. My name is Alyssa Del Torre, and I am a business and life coach. And here in this community, we talk about taking a whole body, whole life, and whole spirit approach. As you start working on one thing, and the rest end up being impacted just like dominoes. So, what I wanted to talk about today is a follow-up to my journaling video, because I think there's some really important questions that we should be looking at and asking ourselves as we are journaling. So I wrote a bunch of them down. So if you're in the middle of journaling, you don't know where to start, or you start getting into it and you want to dive in a little bit deeper, here are some questions, and I'm just going to read them off to you, and you can take them and run with them as you will. So one really big thing is getting present with your journaling. So whatever you're talking about, diving in and looking at the present moment. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? And what is happening in your life right now? If you are thinking about the past, like a situation that happened to you, if you're thinking about it in the present, that's important too. And that is in the present. Like, you haven't been able to move past it, or you haven't really sorted out what that means to you. So it's still present, so write that down. Thinking about, here are the questions. What are you thinking about right now? Is it a memory? Is it still a present thought? And you need to get it out then so you can process it. Do you have any concerns or anxiety? What are you worried about in this very moment? Are you worried about something from the past, something about the future, or is it actually a worry that impacts you right here, right now? Is it within your control to handle or to fix? That's important. Or is it outside of yourself that has the control or the answer, the solution for whatever you're worried about? How can you make an impact on that? How can you take control over that? What risks are involved, and how can you mitigate your risk? How can you lessen your risk and reduce your worry about this topic? Another question is, what are you feeling right now in this very moment? Are you sad, low, or depressed? About what? Is it a past situation, present situation, or a future situation? Those are important, because that'll help you determine where the majority of your thinking patterns lie, past, present, or future. What thoughts are you having that are associated with these feelings as well? Are you feeling happy, joy, loving? What is happening in your life in this very moment that is causing you to feel that way? Are you cultivating that for yourself, or is it external circumstances that are now causing you to feel those feelings? How often do you feel happy? What are the things in your life that cause you to be happy? Is happiness a rare feeling for you, or a pretty regular feeling for you? And if it's not happiness, what are your normal feelings? What are you feeling regularly? That's also important to identify. Keeping on the feelings track, are you feeling numb, neutral, or really nothing at all, kind of empty, right? But not fully sad or depressed, right? Just kind of like going with the flow. You're the ping pong ball going through life at the moment. What are your daily habits? What goals do you have? Do you have any goals? What gets you excited? What does cause a change in emotion for you, good or bad? And how often are those happening? If there's something that is going on in a situation that presents itself to you, what are your thoughts and emotions about the topic? Start there. That's always a great place to start with any journal entry. Also, describing the situation. Like, look at it from an objective point of view, not even your personal view, but if you were an outsider, how would you see this situation? Is it a helpful or hurtful situation for you, your health, your physical body, your being, your emotions? What other ways can you perceive this situation? Did you pick up emotions and make judgments about this situation based on conditioning from your past and like what you're used to? Or is there another way to potentially look at this situation? Are you reacting from emotion or responding from logic. That's also really important to look at. Responding is more calculated. Reacting is actions that are pushed from emotion. The goal is to always respond from thinking, taking your emotions into play and what are they telling you, and then using your rational brain to figure out what is the best way to respond to get the desired results that you're looking for. What are your options for potential solutions? What are your options to respond to these situations? I really would recommend pushing 3, again the rule of 3, finding 3 different ways that you can respond. There's not just one way. Don't ever feel like you are boxed in a corner, that there is only option that you can do. Sometimes doing nothing might be a second or third option, right? But know that you do have multiple options to choose at any given time. Is there a deeper reason for your current emotions regarding the situation? Are you being triggered from something? Is this a pattern? Do you keep allowing certain situations to happen as well? Does this bring up old memories for you and bring up old emotions? If your best friend or a family member was going through this situation right now, what advice would you be telling them? And are you telling yourself that same advice? Are you actually following that advice? Right? Like, you have to be your own best friend at any given moment. And that's really important. A lot of times we're better friends to other people than we are to ourselves. So practice being your own best friend, talking to yourself that way, doing actions and patterns of thinking for yourself that you would do for your best friend. In whatever situation you're going through, are there any positives that you can pull from this situation? Is there significant lessons that can be learned through this situation? That's important too, because that's always going to cultivate growth. That way you're not stagnant. That way you're not going to be relishing just in the emotions. You're actually starting the process of really diving into the rational thinking part of your brain and the healing process as well. How can you reframe things? What are the things that are presenting themselves to you that you can take, run with, and grow from? Those are really just some of the questions that I had written down about journaling to kind of go like the next level in depth to really promote healing, improving your memory, improving your emotional status, your emotional elasticity as well. The more that we can dive into why we're thinking certain things, why we're feeling certain ways, we get stronger. So then if anything comes our way and triggers us again or happens again, we now have a larger toolbox, a stronger toolbox, a more resilient toolbox that we can pull from and actively respond from, not just react because we're being triggered. So I hope this helps. This was just a quick little video that I wanted to add on to the journaling video that I just put out. And if you have any other great questions or suggestions for journaling, please drop them in the comments below. Again, like, subscribe, and follow if you got anything from this video, if you like this type of content. And I'm so grateful to have you here in this community, and I will see you soon. Take care.